Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there, Mrs. Weedman?
Mr. Weedman?
How the hell are you?
Suffering and pain, but I'll be okay.
Hey, all you vipers out there in the world, hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks where you listen to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with some Znackz by Preferred Gardens, which has officially launched here and made its way from California to Illinois in collaboration with Redemption Botanicals, who we smoked on the show many a times. A team that continues to deliver premium flower. Znackz is a powerful cross between chauffeur and runts, delivering the classic gassy runts aroma with sweet, earthy, candy-like notes, indica dominant with tasting notes of grape, coriander, interesting, strawberry, masa, interesting, and fuel. The resinous nugs pull apart with a gacky, reluctance, leaving the fingertips gluey and liable to decimate a few rolling papers. The lineage is Genetics' Runts and Chauffeur, which is gelato and Skittles and wedding cake and daily driver. The THC percentage is 26.91%. The terpenes, man, reach up to 3.53%, and the terpenes in this are beta-carotene, limonene, and linalool. Oh, some of Mr. Weedman's favorites. And while we're smoking this delicious Znackz by Preferred Gardens, I'd like to thank the fellows over at Redemption Botanicals, Marshall, Bo, and Chad for throwing to the cause and throwing us some of this fine weed. And I heard it hit the dispensaries and it was sold out in like one day.
Wow,
kind of crazy. Yeah. So I heard there was people waiting for this line to break out. Yeah. So what do you think of the taste?
I have no taste buds. I'm just a hot mess.
You got a little cough going on.
Sorry. Right into the microphone.
Sorry about that, everybody. And before we get started, Mrs. Weedman's going to tell you that once she stops coughing, she's going to tell you a little bit about 8decades.com.
Yes. If you're unaware, 8 Decades is our cannabis lifestyle brand that we began as a continuation of our work and advocacy for cannabis. So 8decades.com, spell it out, EIGHT, decades.com. And there you'll find our custom, we designed it. We have a rolling set. So there's a nice rolling tray, ashtray, multi-tool, there's hemp clothing, there's storage jars, tote bags, keychains. There's just all sorts of, not keychains, I'm lying. I started to say keychains. There's also Weedman 420 swag.
Yay.
There's links to the show. There's all sorts of things. You can learn more about us, and you can contribute to donating to the Last Prisoner Project as well.
Yeah.
So check us out at 8decades.com. Free shipping the first time you visit the site and register as a subscriber. Then you'll get free shipping on your first order.
There you go.
So there you go.
Check out 8decades.com, everybody. And as we always say, you support 8decades.com. We get to keep on doing this show for you every week. And, well, we did it, Mrs. Weedman. A week ago, we had mentioned that Mrs. Weedman and I are moving our new studio. Right now, we are in a makeshift studio. We're on some folding tables and a couple makeshift mics and not our normal setup, so you will not see a video probably for a good month. You'll just have audio, so even on our YouTube, we'll have the animation going instead of seeing Mrs. Weedman and I. We have a lot of work to do on the studio. So Mrs. Weedman and I moved into a new home. We talked about in the last episode that it's a dream of ours to have a home that we can enjoy with our family and build a family compound and just be able to live the rest of our lives at. And we did it. And I will tell you all this, I am never moving again. Ever in my life. I will die in this house.
Ass. Awful. The worst thing.
So we started packing like a month ago, about 3.5 weeks ago, before this crazy weather in Chicago happened. And but then we didn't know if we were going to get this place or not. So we wound up putting a bunch of stuff in a pod. And but then we found out the closing was happening, so we had to pack really fast, and we only had like what, 5 days, 4 days to pack it, 5 days to pack and move, basically.
Well, I
like,
mean, we were packing as we were going along.
yes, but we had
To
a
elaborate, I'm a realtor.
yes.
Remember, that's my day job. And I watch people move all the time, but boy, oh boy,
Yes.
it is a challenge.
So we had a
Wait,
really
wait. So this property that we were buying, the added stress was that the sellers of the property that we bought were just kind of dangling the cheese the entire contract time that they had a backup offer and they were happy to mush us out of the way and take it. So basically, don't ask any questions. Don't try to ask anything. Don't try to suggest that we do anything. You want the property, you buy it the way it is. Have a good day. So it got pretty. It was rough. So
Yes.
we really didn't know if we were going to get this property. Attorney review stayed open the entire contract. That's like
unheard of.
Anyway, long story short, it was like the dangling cheese the entire time was that this backup offer could have the house. They'd be happy to kick us out of the way.
Right.
So we couldn't ask, we couldn't stir the pot. And so it was like this added stress of, are we really moving? I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Like, are we moving or not? So it's like we're packing, but we're kind of hesitant because it's like, if we're not, but our house was under contract as well. Oh my God. So there was just like an added, very large layer of stress. And then we got the Arctic tundra visited Chicago the week that we decided to move. So, like, the move was nothing like I had ever anticipated it would be. I always pictured this beautiful spring day, having this open house and having people pass through and see the yard and its glory and da 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 da. No, it was a fucking shit show. It was like, oh my God. The holidays are coming. We got to get this place on the market. We got to get it sold. Then we got this property. Are these people going to take it away from us? Are we going to get it? I don't know. I don't know. We got our place sold. So now we got to leave. Holy cow. It was just stressful.
Mayhem.
Stressful. And then there's just all the little fucking shit that you just can't put in a box. Like oh my God.
We're venting.
We're
'Cause
venting.
we haven't had a chance. And when you've been married 30 years, been together 31 years, you collect a lot of shit.
Yeah. And we have 2 adult kids, so we have a
Yes.
lot of their shit because they both live in the city in apartments. So they
Right.
don't have room for their
So we had to
their
like
stuff.
really pack fast for like 3 days. Like 3 days of packing quick. Like really trying to get it done so we can get the movers were coming on Monday. So we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to finish packing. It was just Mrs. Weedman and I. We had my sister-in-law helped a little bit, but
Mhm.
for a couple hours one day, and that was it. So Mrs. Weedman and I were friggin' booking.
Yeah.
Movers came on Monday. They're packing the house up, and we also had to rent a truck that we packed the night before because Mrs. Weedman didn't want her artwork on the moving truck
And plants.
and just
certain
personal stuff.
things. Yeah.
So Monday, we get the movers are done, and they can't fit any of the yard stuff, like our barbecues and
Oh my God. We're like,
just-
no, you have to fit it. You have to
They
fit
couldn't
it.
do it in time. It couldn't fit in the truck, so we had to drive up to where our house is, our new home, unload everything, and then we still had to unload the truck that we rented too after the
Mhm.
movers were done with the truck and the pod.
Mhm.
And they were fast, but they were too
They were
fast because they were just
messy.
messy. But they did a job that they did. So on Tuesday we had to go back down to where we formerly lived and finish packing and clean the house up for the new folks coming in.
In like a 1.5 hour window.
Yeah, we had a 1.5 hour window.
Make this place shine.
Yeah.
Get all
and
the
I
extra
packed.
shit out of here.
O-Dog, our daughter, came down, helped Mrs. Weedman get the house cleaned. I packed the rest of the stuff, filled that truck up again. It filled it up again. And then we had to drive to our new home to unpack that truck. But also we have demo work going on that the next day.
At our new
At
place.
our new place on
Like
Wednesday.
construction was starting. We're not talking like one contractor
No.
or one subcontractor.
No.
There were
talking
like 15 people
many.
working.
And then we had to rearrange the house for all the work that needed to be
Oh
done.
my
So all the
God.
boxes had to be put in certain places that they
Yeah.
weren't doing work on. So for
Oh my God.
basically 48 hours, Mrs. Weedman and I were like
Non-stop moving shit.
so
Oh
so
my-
we were actually so exhausted. Tuesday, Mrs. Weedman wanted to clean the bathrooms so we can use them in our new home. And I said, I'm going to go sit for a minute. I just need a break. And this was like,
We literally were like, I have never felt that level of
oh,
exhaustion
exhaustion.
and
Yes.
pain.
Mind, body, and
Never.
soul was just
Like
exhausted
everything.
in all levels. So I went downstairs to take a
Ugh.
break around 8:30. And Mrs. Weedman came down about 9:30 and saw me laying in the bed out cold and puts half an edible in my mouth. And she said I chewed it and didn't say a word. And she came back down again, saw me like in a position, and she's never seen me fall crimped up, arms in the air like I was. And she really thought I was rigor mortisized in bed.
So I was like, if he looks like this, he could be in the best sleep of his life. And if I touch him to check on him, I'm going to disturb that peace. And we are exhausted. And then on the other hand, he's sleeping in such a weird way, this weird position. Is he dead? I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know. Like such a conundrum. What do you do?
Yes.
So you moved.
So besides all the work,
breathed.
besides
It
all
was
the
okay.
besides all the work we did, and the moving and shaking, I will tell you a little bit about Mrs. Weedman and I's marriage. Thank God we have a good marriage. And thank God we know each other well enough to where there was points I'm sure Mrs. Weedman wanted to punch me in the face.
No, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, wanted to punch me in the mouth at least 75 times.
Yeah.
Probably I'm counting 75. It's probably more.
Well, I mean, we could probably quadruple that over the 3 years of the house hunt, right?
Yeah.
The 3 years.
Yes.
3 years, Mr.
Yeah.
Weedman.
So 3 years of looking for a new home too.
Oh my God.
And there was times where I probably wanted to pick Mrs. Weedman up and toss her. So it was so stressful mentally for the both of us because we had so much going on at one time, and then the demo work going on and trying to do a lot of stuff, and it's just the two of us. So O-Dog helped a little bit, Shawty and Paulie helped for a little bit too, but not much time. They all, everyone's busy with lives.
Yeah.
So the stress upon the mind, body, and soul thing of this move was rough on a marriage too. And thank God, I will tell you this, never go to bed angry when you're married. And every night before we went to bed, we talked it out and gave each other a little bro hug and a kiss. and hey, we got this. We can do this one more day. We got one more round in us, Rock. One more round.
And we said at the beginning, like when we were like, we are finding a property before this year ends.
Yep.
And we really dug our heels in. There's just been arguments and bickering. And
I also made a pinky swear that we would find a place this year. And we did.
Yeah.
But it took a very strong marriage to get through these last 7 days.
Yeah.
We are recording on a Saturday. I don't think we've ever recorded on a Saturday, and maybe once I think we did for our 420 episode at Made Gallery. So we usually record on Tuesdays. But we got a show done this week. We have not missed a week.
Yes.
And we promised that we would get you a show, and it took a lot to do this show today. Mrs. Weedman was hustling and bustling, trying to clean and get stuff organized, and I was working on some destruction that I'm good at because I'm not into construction, and still put a show together today, and we're going to do our full show for you all, and we're super stoked to do it in our new home and our new studio that's not done. And this studio right now is
the old owner's name.
Walls?
Her name was Rose.
So these are rose-colored walls, right?
I'm thinking
right now,
rose, but like a pinky rose,
yeah,
like
Mr.
a carnation.
Weedman is in a pink, not his green and white studio.
No.
He's in a pink rose studio right now.
Yeah, with cute little frilly eyelet curtains.
Yes. So my
grandma's room.
Yeah, the studio is going to be a while before it's done. We got a lot of work to do coming up. So I apologize. There's no video with Mr. and Mrs. Weedman and I, but we will do a show. You will get a show next week too on Tuesday when we normally do the show. It'll come out Thursday, so we'll be back to normal. But it is kind of crazy right now. And we want to let you know that we love you all out there for the support, and that's why we're doing a show this week. And like I always say, it's still the favorite night of the week when I get to do this because this is the time Mrs. Weedman and I have laughs, we have fun. And we get to smoke some weed together and relax and chill and just talk weed and talk shit to one another. So just know it is real. we did it, Mrs. Weedman. We fucking did it. So I'm proud of you. You kicked ass. I've never seen a woman in basically 2 weeks get contractors and contract work done as fast as she did get movers lined up, get all this work done we're getting done in this house. You know, I am so impressed and so highly admired that I couldn't do it. And I want to say I'm so fucking proud of you.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
proud of you being my wife, but I'm proud of you what you've done and accomplished in a short period of time and how stressful it is to do all this. I fucking love you.
I fucking love you.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You killed it. You
Thank you.
knocked it out of the park. Any person that's ever wanted somebody to redo their house for them, you need to hire this woman I'm sitting in front of looking right at right now, because I tell you what, she gets shit done. No doubt fucking about it. So I love you. And
I
I'm
love
proud
you
of you.
too.
So something funny. There's this term going around right now. It's a number. And let's kick this off to something wild from the language world. Over at NPR, Rachel Treisman covered dictionary.com's announcement for the 2025 word of the year. And trust me, this one is going to make you chuckle and scratch your head at the same time. So here's the headline. The word of the year for 2025 isn't a word in the traditional sense. It's a slang term that literally has no real meaning. The vibe, totally chaotic, totally Gen Alpha. Dictionary.com picked 67, pronounced 6-7, as its standout for the year. Now, before you ask, what the hell does 6-7 mean? Here's the deal. The dictionary itself basically throws up its hands on a definition. It says that 67 is impossible to define because it's meaningless, ambiguous, and non-essential. Not essential. It exists because people use it, not because it means something specific. That's straight from the announcement about the selection process. Digging into how it came about, the phrase got popular online through TikTok and viral clips, especially around basketball culture and meme culture this year. Some trace of viral song clip and social posts. Others say it's just a way for kids to be kids and adults to be confused. Either way, the search frequency for 6-7 skyrocketed this summer, and it was used everywhere from the classroom to social feeds. Teachers even started noticing some warning other educators to avoid counting out loud unless they want a room full of students shouting 6-7. Fucking classic. And here's an interesting twist. Even the originators admit it doesn't really mean anything. Some creators behind the meme say the beauty of 6-7 is that people give it their own meaning, whatever fits their vibe. So why this is the word of the year? Dictionaries.com lexicographers say it captures something real about 2025. Language as living, evolving reflection of culture, internet humor, and intergenerational expression. It's less about dictionary definitions and more about connection and shared experience, even if it's nonsense. In short, 2025 word of the year is the number that means nothing, used by generation that thrives on absurdity, and how it's officially immortalized in the lexicon. That's 6-7, baby. 67, 6-7, no more, no less. Now, when I was talking to Mrs. Weedman about this, were you a little confused still about the term 6-7? Or
No,
did you
because
kinda know a little bit about it?
it had come up on a social media post that a mom bought their kid a shirt with 6-7 on it, and the other mom's like, "That's bad," and then then it went like, woo, like 50 comments of women saying blah 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 blah, but most of them saying that it's just a number, it's no big deal. But there's this handful of people think that there's some underlying negative connotation
Right.
that it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's all I know about it.
So all you,
6-7, yo.
we're Generation Xers, Mrs. Weedman and I, and there was terms back then that our parents didn't understand
Yeah.
either. So in the late 80s, early 90s, and all you Gen Xers out there, you know what I'm talking about. So we all have that generational thing that the generation behind us or two generations would be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Kind of thing.
I'm noticing a lot of that in myself lately. What the fuck are they talking about? I'm old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good thing I
have no clue.
I mean, I have T and Dowboy and Polly and Shoddy that I talk to a lot. So I mean, they keep Mr. Weedman hip to the new shit, I guess, But and then we have O-Dog, who's a Gen Zer, so
right.
She kind of teaches me a little bit here and there too. And plus,
and then we've got like nieces and nephews that go down into their early 20s. We don't have any more. Well, we have got a great nephew who's just turned 13
happy
today.
Birthday,
Oliver.
Danger. Best name ever, Oliver Danger. Because Danger is
Dangers.
his middle name.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. And also, T, our technician's birthday,
Yeah,
too.
happy birthday,
Happy
T.
birthday, T. We love you,
Yeah.
brother. You've been around for 7 years. Actually, been around a lot longer than that, but been around the show for 7 years, almost 7 years. So, yeah, go ahead. You were saying something. Sorry.
I was hoping you didn't come back to me because I don't remember.
Oh, you don't
What was
remember?
wait, but remind me.
We were
Remind
talking
me.
about 6, 7, and internet and different terms, Gen X, Gen
Oh,
X.
yeah. So we have, like, teenagers. We're covered,
Yes.
like, up to teenage, but then there's, like, this gap. Like, I don't understand kids that are, like, maybe, like, 8 to 13.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that dance, the with the swinging arms. I don't get that. Like, what? I don't know. There's just some
Because
things.
it's from video.
I know.
Those were
I
from
know.
video. Those from video games.
We don't have anyone in that generation,
No,
so it's like,
no.
I don't get it right now.
All right. You ready to get the show started?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. How does the X-ray method work in decontamination? We've talked about remediation on this show and all the different ways they're getting rid of decontamination. This is not, I wouldn't say fairly new, but just some information that people are always asking about. All right, folks, let's dive into something techie but essential for the cannabis world right now. X-ray decontamination, how it's reshaping the way safe, clean flower makes it into your hands. The insight comes from the Cannabis Industry's journal piece, talking with the folks like Jeff Adams and Joseph Bonacheri from X Pure and how this stuff actually works in the real world. So here's the core challenge. As cannabis production scales up and testing standards tighten across states, growers under pressure to make sure their products is absolutely free of harmful microbes. I just read in Colorado 4 different types of companies with multiple products are contamination. Again, how many times have we read on these shows? So mold, bacteria, nasty stuff you don't want to inhale. Traditional methods like pasteurization, ozone, UV, light, heat, these all have been used in food and agriculture for years. But here's the kicker. Those methods don't often penetrate the dense cannabis flowers, so microbes hiding deep inside the buds can slip through unnoticed. How come? I know why, but I've been smoking weed for a very long time and never got sick off of weed from small batch growers and underground growers. Never, ever. Never
No.
heard of, no one's ever talked about contamination and stuff. So, enter the X-ray decontamination. And no, we're not talking about superhero comics. We're talking precision technology that goes way through the flower without messing up the cannabinoids or terpenes you actually care about. Instead of relying on heat or chemicals that can alter flavor or smell, X-rays work on a total different scale. Jeff Adams explains it's like this. Imagine a mold spore is the size of a golf ball, and the DNA inside is like the needle. Well, guess what? X-rays are about the size of that needle. So they go right through the target that DNA directly breaking it apart and killing the microbes. Meanwhile, plant cells are enormous in composition, so they just shrug and let those rays pass through. That means you're getting a cold, chemical-free process, no heat, no residues, no funky reactions with terpenes or THC. You'll still get the aroma, potency, and effect you expect, just without the microbial nasties. And that's huge because for a lot of operators, the biggest enemy isn't the law, it's failed microbial tests, lost batches, and reputations that comes with them. Now, some folks in the cannabis community aren't totally sold on remediation in general. Purists say a perfectly run cultivation environment should grow clean flower without post-harvest techs. X-Pure acknowledges that, but they also point out the reality. The same environment that's great for growing big, sticky flower is also great for growing mold and mildews. Even the best setups struggle to keep microbial loads down. And here's where it gets interesting. While there's definitely some stigma attached to treated cannabis, perception is shifting. More consumers, especially medical users, are saying they want transparency about decontamination. And many would even prefer treated cannabis if it means safer product with no risk of inhaling the molds and spores. Safety is another key piece here. These X-ray systems meet strict FDA standards and don't leak radiation, so operators don't need hazmat suits or locked rooms. They're sealed, safe, and built to comply with protocols. Who would see it at a federal level and national legalization ever happens? I was just at a cultivation that uses X-rays, and one of the people I was with was nervous about going in there. He's like, "Oh, why are we in this room?" You know, and hence we just said the machinery doesn't leak radiation at all. Uh, so there's also a practice side. Not all state testing standards are the same. Some states allow higher microbial counts than others. So what counts as clean in one place might not pass in another. That inconsistency has pushed a lot of growers toward having their own in-house decontamination solutions instead of relying on third-party labs or less reliable treatments. So what's the bottom line on this tech? X-ray decontamination isn't just another buzzword. It's a science-driven solution that's helping cultivators protect product quality, maintain potency and aroma, and hit strict safety standards without sacrificing what makes cannabis cannabis. Whether you're running a boutique grow or a commercial facility, it's a tool that quickly going from nice to have to industry standard. And that's your deep dive on X-ray decontamination in cannabis, clean tech for the cleaner hit. And we'll keep an eye on this and how it evolves as more operators adopt to and regulators get tougher on the microbial safety. It's probably going to become a standard. I, I'm not a fan of it. That's why I like my own home grow and people who I usually get my flower from, small batch, small growers. I know that one thing can go wrong and you get a whole big, large grow facilities. These are small batch grows that know what the fuck they're doing, you
Mhm.
know? And I'm sure I've smoked some dispensary weed that's been x-rayed or all that other shit, ozone or, whatever, it's just, what are you going to do? It's just, you either don't smoke it and you go back to finding people or do what I like to do. And that's grow your own weed. Right?
That's right.
So, Miss Wee Man,
Yep.
the gut, the
Yeah.
gut.
Yep.
Don't get punched in the gut, right?
That's right.
Don't ever. But your gut is getting high too, right? The
Yeah.
surprising cannabis microbiome connection. Tell
All
us
right.
about it.
Today, we're diving into some surprising science linking your cannabis and your gut, really, your microbiome. Traditionally, we think of cannabis as something that affects the brain and consciousness. But new research suggests there's also a two-way conversation between cannabinoids like THC and CBD and the trillions of microbes living in our digestive tracts. And that connection could influence everything from inflammation to metabolism to immune function. At the heart of this interaction is something called the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. It's a complex signaling network throughout the body that both our own endocannabinoids and plant cannabinoids engage with. What's interesting is that gut bacteria help shape and regulate the endocannabinoid system, and the endocannabinoid system, in turn, plays a role in gut health. Preclinical research, mostly in animal models, shows that both THC and CBD can actually shift the balance of bacterial species in the gut. For example, one study in mice fed a high fat diet found that THC increased the levels of Akkermansia musciphilia, something like that, a bacterium linked to healthier gut barrier function and better metabolic outcomes. CBD in separate experiments helped restore healthy ratios of other bacteria, reducing inflammation and stabilizing gut communities. On the flip side, certain gut microbes seem to influence how the body processes cannabinoids. Some produce enzymes that reactivate THC metabolites, potentially modifying the strength or duration of effects. This is more than just interesting biology. Early findings in humans, such as in people living with HIV, suggest that cannabis use may change microbiome composition, reduce immune activation, and improve the integrity of the gut barrier, which has important implications for inflammation and overall health. But this area is still very much emerging, and results are mixed across studies. Some cannabis users show benefits, while others, especially heavy and long term users, can show reduced diversity in their gut microbiota, which isn't typically a good sign for gut health. It's also important to note that most human studies are small, and preclinical animal studies don't always translate directly to people. Researchers are still working to understand how factors like dose, method of consumption, and individual microbial profiles change the outcomes. The author points out that if you're interested in supporting your microbiome alongside cannabis use, diet plays a key role. Fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi, prebiotic fibers found in garlic and onions, polyphenol-rich foods such as berries and green tea, omega-3 sources like salmon and walnuts, and high-fiber whole foods can all help nurture a resilient gut environment that may work in tandem with the body's cannabinoid signaling systems. In short, the connection between cannabis and the microbiome is real, and it's complex. One of the hot frontiers in integrative health research that's happening now. So that's pretty cool. We've been taking probiotics and prebiotics
Forever.
probably since our
I
20s.
take a lot of stuff in my gut, though. Gut health's key.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started taking them, it was just
Early
a vitamin that, if you knew about health and wellness, you knew about.
Right.
And if you didn't, you didn't. I can always remember my mom. Oh, she'd just roll her eyes. Oh, Susan. But now the doctor gives it to you. And when you're in the hospital, they give it to you.
Right.
So now it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't, I mean,
It's
even if you just use
yeah.
Greek yogurt,
Mhm.
or kefir,
Yeah.
plain kefir, don't do all the flavors. It's too much sugar and shit. So, but your gut, I'm telling you,
You need the
you need good gut health.
acidophilus.
Yes, you need good gut health. You need good poops. Good poops.
Mm.
Good gut health gives you good poops. And Mr. Weedman just had, what did I just have done?
He pooped in a box. He did the
what is it called?
well, no, because he's a
Colodral?
big baby and he won't do a colonoscopy.
that. I don't need to
So
touch that.
dumb.
I don't need a
I'm not doing
But what did
that.
I get done? What did I
I'm
do?
not having anyone
What was-
shove something up my ass.
Only your finger, Mrs. Weedman. Only your finger.
All right, Mr. Weedman. Too much information. All right, so Mr. Weedman pooped in a box, and it was for
What is it called?
It's a poo test.
It's called a
know.
colodro. No, not colodro.
No, that's what you kid.
It's from
The kid
Bronx
from
Tale.
Bronx Tale, Colodro.
It's not a colostrum, or what is it? What is it
No,
called?
instead of doing a colonoscopy,
Yes.
if you have no family history of colon
Yeah.
disease and
Right.
cancers, you can be a candidate to just do the poop in a box.
So-
So Mr. Weedman did the poop in a box, but he had stage fright.
No,
for,
I did not.
Yes, you did.
No,
for 2
I
weeks.
wanted to give
my
him a
poop's
good.
not
I
right.
wanted to give him
My
a
poop's
good
not
poop.
right.
I wanted
Like
to give
the
him
poop,
the perfect.
It
poop.
doesn't matter.
No, I
if you
gave
have
them-
something going
I
on down there,
gave
it'll be
them-
an all poop.
I gave them
All of it.
perfect.
Oh my
poop.
God. But here's the thing.
was
the
so
poop
perfect.
gets mixed with a liquid.
what?
I said by the time it gets to them, it's
Perfect.
just a poop eye.
It was
It's just a
perfect.
poop eye. Not a poopy. It's a poop eye.
It was so perfect. I love poop.
Everyone's poop looks the same when it
It was
arrives.
so perfect. It was too perfect.
He had stage
I didn't
fright.
have
Oh, he
stage fright.
totally had stage.
No,
he
I
had
didn't.
just not
Did it come
firm
back
enough
though?
poop
It
for
came back, and how did it come back?
99.99999999% no suspect of intestinal or colon
Or
problems.
prostate cancer.
You are fine.
I am fine.
You're perfect.
It was because I gave them the perfect poop.
So, at the end of the day, we're going to circle back to the article and smoke your weed and get some probiotics
There
in
you
your
go.
belly.
Yep.
It's good for
Yep,
you.
It is.
Yeah, do it.
So here's something cool. Measuring the effects of cannabis on anxiety and depression among cancer patients. Let's jump into something heavy, but critically important that doesn't get talked about enough in cannabis circles. What the science says about cannabis and symptom management in kids with cancer. This is based on systematic review and meta-analysis published in the journal Cancer, led by researchers including Mark Chichabaro, Mohammed Ben Alitriki, and Lauren E. Kelly, PhD. And yes, it's real peer-reviewed science coming out of Wiley. What do you always say about peer-reviewed, Mrs. Weedman?
I don't know.
That you always say peer-reviewed means it's real, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
I don't know I didn't know that I had like a thing I say
you
about
said it because every time we talk about
Yes.
a peer-reviewed article, you're like, this means it's like legit,
Yeah.
So first, the context. Kids with cancer often deal with crazy ranges of symptoms, nausea, and vitamin from chemo, pain, anxiety, appetite issues, sleep problems, you name it. Over the last decade, cannabis products of all kinds, natural phytocannabinoids, synthetic cannabinoids, even prescription cannabinoids like naloxone, have been increasingly used by families trying to help manage these symptoms. But pediatric oncologists have been cautious because the data has been, well, pretty thin. Here's what the researchers actually did. They looked up 4 major medical literature databases, Mendeley, Embasa, PsycInfo, and the Cochrane Library, and shifted through tens of thousands of citations to find what evidence is out there. In the end, 19 unique studies made the cut involving just under 2,000 kids with cancer. Those studies included everything from randomized controlled trials to chart reviews and even a couple of case reports. Now let's talk specifics. Across these studies, cannabis producers were most commonly used to treat chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting. That makes sense. This has been a long one and more accepted medical use of cannabinoids in adults, so families are exploring it for kids too. But looking at the outcomes get complicated. In the controlled trials, kiddos taking cannabinoids were more likely to experience somnolence, dizziness, dry mouth, and sometimes even feeling high. And these effects were strong enough that participants in the cannabinoid groups were almost 4 times more likely to drop out of the study because of adverse effects compared to those on placebo. On the bright side, across all the studies included, there were no serious cannabis related adverse events reported. Here's where it gets tricky and where the science really needs work. Most of the studies didn't consistently describe what exactly the kids were getting, the type of cannabis products, the dose, how often it was used, or how it was administered. And the outcomes weren't standardized either. Some looked at nausea, others at pain or mood or sleep, and many didn't measure things in the same way. That makes it basically impossible right now to say with confidence what works, what doesn't work, and how to dose it. The researchers point out that while there is some evidence, especially from the controlled trials, that cannabinoids performed better than a placebo for nausea and vomiting, we still don't have enough solid data on how cannabis affects pain, anxiety, mood, sleep, or overall quality of life in these pediatric patients. And without that clear picture, doctors are understandably cautious about prescribing it to kids. Because of the uncertainty, the review team says we urgently need more rigorous research, including clinical trials that are well designed with standardized dosing and outcomes, so clinicians and parents actually have good evidence to base decisions on. In fact, the results of this review are now helping to shape a new trial called Cannabinoids in Pediatric Oncology, CAN-PONC. That's planning to recruit around 60 patients into 3-arm tolerability study to get better data on how cannabinoids are tolerated in this population. So bottom line, the science so far suggests that cannabis products might help with symptoms like nausea and vomiting in children undergoing cancer treatment. And the serious safety signals seems low to study so far. And yet, there are not a place where they can give clear guidelines or safety, dosing, or onboard efficiency. Families are using these products because the need is real. But the evidence is still emerging, and doctors want solid answers before they can recommend use with confidence. And that's the takeaway. There's some promise, but a lot more work needs to be done.
That's
Right?
right. Yep.
More what, Mrs. Weedman?
More research.
More research. um,
Always.
so, s- some scientists built a fake bar to see if weed makes people drink less. And then this fake bar thing, apparently it did. So researchers test whether cannabis truly curbs alcohol cravings. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Okay, there's a little experiment here that feels like it was built for storytelling. Researchers wanted to know whether cannabis changes how much people drink alcohol in a setting that looks and feels like a real bar. So they literally built a fake bar, complete with lighting, drinks, and a vibe, and invited people in to participate, while scientists watched and measured behavior carefully. The question was simple: does smoking weed before drinking make people drink less? And the results suggest the answer is yes, at least in this controlled setting. Here's how it worked: participants were adults who drank heavily at least once a month and also used cannabis. Over multiple sessions, each person smoked either a joint with high THC at about 7.2%, a joint with moderate THC around 3.1%, or a placebo joint that didn't actually get them high. After that, everyone was offered alcoholic drinks in the bar lab and could drink freely across a 2-hour period, or choose to pass on drinks for small cash rewards. The findings were clear and pretty striking. When participants smoked the moderate THC joint, they drank about 19% less alcohol than when they smoked a placebo. With a higher THC joint, alcohol consumption dropped by about 27% compared with placebo. Participants also tended to wait longer before taking their first drink after smoking cannabis, especially with the stronger THC. Lead researcher Jan Metrick from Brown University emphasizes that this isn't about telling people to swap one intoxicant for the other. The results show at the moment cannabis use was associated with reduced drinking in this specific controlled scenario, and in some cases, less urge to drink right away. But she and other scientists caution that we still don't know how this translates to real world social drinking, long term habits, or whether this might help people struggling with alcohol use disorder. There's also the risk with cannabis itself, including the potential for problematic use. This research touches on the broader cultural trend you've probably heard of, the so called California sober approach, where people intentionally reduce or avoid alcohol in favor of cannabis. The new data gives this idea a bit of empirical grounding, at least in the short term, but scientists are careful to point out that it's not yet a clinical recommendation or treatment strategy. So, in a controlled bar experiment, smoking cannabis before drinking was linked to significantly less alcohol consumption and delayed drinking onset compared with placebo. The substitution effect was strongest with higher THC levels, suggesting that under some conditions, cannabis might acutely curb drinking behavior. Of course, more research is needed to understand what this means outside of the lab.
Right.
Promising information.
Yeah, very promising. I mean, liquor sales are down
Yeah.
year over year
Why do
since
you think
2022,
everything's yeah.
especially. They said, I just saw an article that said since 2022, people are smoking more cannabis and liquor than ever before. And that
Yeah.
was height during COVID too,
Yeah.
So political state and business news. Big news here. Big news. Now I just want to see if it happens. You ready for this, Mrs. Weedman?
I'm ready.
Here's the latest on the Trump executive order rumor for Monday. What's legit, what's still rumors, and the context around it. So, what's being reported? Multiple credible outlets are saying President Trump may issue an executive order as soon as Monday, directing federal agencies to begin rescheduling marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substance Act. Today is Saturday, 12/13. You probably won't listen to this probably till Monday, so this could be amazing news if this happens, but let's go into it a little bit more. Schedule 3 would treat cannabis more like mild prescriptions, Tylenol with codeine, easing some federal restrictions and reducing certain regulatory burdens. Important, nothing's final yet. White House officials caution that no final decision has been made yet, despite all the reports and market reactions. Now, remember, everybody, this is an executive order, not being voted on by Congress or the Senate. This is the president using his pen, I guess,
Mhm.
to sign something that the president is executive order doing on his own. So could be something amazing, or this could be a big fight ahead. We shall see. Market and policy reaction. Just on rumor, cannabis stocks have surged sharply as traders price in the possibility of rescheduling. Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, holy shit today. And if a formal executive order happens, agencies like the DEA and HHS would be instructed to move forward with drafting new rules. But that's a process that might take weeks or months after the order itself. What would it mean if it happens? Rescheduling to Schedule 3 doesn't legalize marijuana at the federal level, but it would potentially reduce tax burdens for cannabis businesses, expand banking access and ease credit card usage, making federal medical research easier. Pretty good for the research part. The timing. Reports specifically mention Monday as the target date for the order, but again, this isn't official yet, and the administration could still alter or delay plans. So, everybody, if you're going to hear this, you'll probably hear it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So, if the president does use the executive order, this is good for cannabis, but it's going to take probably a good 3 to 4 or 5 months to get everything laid out. Also, there's going to be a lot of pushback on this from some people, and there's going to be a lot of happy people. Stock market's going to go ballistic again on Monday once the president signs the executive order, if and when that happens. I'm happy in some ways, but I've never been happy about rescheduling. I've only been truly happy about wanting it descheduled and decriminalized and run like alcohol and tobacco. So I just hope it happens because it's a start. But then the fight's gonna begin. So
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to all the news. I mean, there was a lot since Thursday night, Friday when
Yeah.
this came out.
But it's sad because if this also leads up to the end of the hemp industry, it's really disheartening, you know? It's really a setback. There's a lot of people who disagree with that, but it's the two businesses need to complement. They do complement one another, but instead they're spending all this time fighting because the controls over who will run and who will profit from those industries.
Right.
It's all gone corporate, right? It's all gone to stockholders and like that's where the politicians are looking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I'm high and I can't keep my train of thought for more than about 3 seconds.
It's okay.
But we always say that we want it we just don't want
Descheduled.
any scheduling. We want it descheduled, we want it
Decriminalized.
decriminalized. We just want to be able to have
Just
legal weed,
yeah.
grow it, smoke it,
Yep.
make edibles, do what you need to do with it and just be responsible.
Yeah.
Put boundaries on it like you do with alcohol and just fucking let it be. And the people who have hemp businesses can still continue and the people who have cannabis business can still continue.
Yep.
And they have a framework on how to do business. Standardization. This is what your product has to have, maximum this, minimum that, test here, lab there. Boom.
Beep, beep, bop, ba, boop.
Beep, ba-dop, ba-doop, ba-dop. Come on, just get your fucking shit together, would you? It's so simple, and they've just made it so fucked up.
Of
and
course.
it's just,
And that's 'cause when you
it's
get
just
government
it's
involved.
just, there's a lot of people's livelihoods that are really at stake.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Is it a win?
we'll find out on Monday.
Yeah.
Kentucky is finally opening up its first medical marijuana dispensary, and Governor Andy Beshear says supplies are expected to run out fast. Patients are hyped, lines are forming, and folks are joking this launch might move faster than a Black Friday sale.
Boom.
Kentucky's long waited for MMJ is over, and it's packing out quick. Cheech and Chong are officially taking their cannabis brands nationwide, according to High Times. The comedy legends just announced a licensing expansion aiming for 100 retail stores across the U.S. That's right, Dave's here. Dave's not here, but the dispensaries are. It's part nostalgia, part business, and proof stoner culture went corporate. Smoke responsibly, money talks, bullshit walks, history repeats itself. California cannabis sales bring in $283.7 million in tax revenue for the third quarter of 2025. I do not feel sorry for you, California government. You don't deserve to take that $283 million anyway, but stop complaining and stop raising taxes because that's just in a quarter. So just say on average, $250. So you're making $1 billion a year in tax revenue. Go fuck yourself for raising taxes on these poor folks out there. A marijuana-linked vomiting condition called cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And holy shit, for the last 7 days, every friggin' cannabis article has been about cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, CHS. But now it's an official WHO medical code. As ER visits keep rising, doctors say it hits heavy long-term users, causing intense nausea relieved by hot showers. So yeah, if your cure is boiling water, it might be time for a tolerance break. And I don't even think it's that. But this past week, there's been 30 articles plus on CHS. Fucking crazy. So much, it just comes and goes, the waves of articles and medical stuff they talk about. And I understand that it's happening to more and more people. But here's what listen to Mr. Weedman when he tells you, I've been talking about this for how many years now? Okay? There's people that I know that stopped smoking weed because of it. When I ask them, what do you smoke a lot of, or what do you take a lot of, or what do you do a lot? Well, I smoke a lot of carts. Okay. What's the THC percentage in those carts? I don't know, something like 90 to 95%. I'm like, oh my God. Can you take it down to like 20% in your cart and start there? Or start smoking very low dose THC flower? You're destroying your body. If you can't tolerate that and your tolerance level is not there yet, and That's why you're getting this. You're putting so much THC in your body that wasn't meant to be in there, and you're overwhelming your body to where your body probably thinks you're poisoning itself, and what is it doing? Vomiting it out.
Mhm.
You're just killing your body. Take a break. If you decide to try cannabis again in a year from now, start with the lowest dose of anything possible and open up your system. Start with a 2.5 milligram edible and see what happens before you decide to dive into a 25 milligram edible like you used to take and you didn't need to. Ms. Weedman's tired, I could tell.
No, I'm in a good I am ready to go to
Yeah,
bed, but
she's
I'm
tired.
okay right
She was
now.
kicking
I'm
ass and
okay.
taking names today. So just take care of your body, everybody, and it'll take care of you. According to heady New Jersey Governor-elect Mickey Shirelli just launched a public survey, and cannabis advocates finally have a seat at the table. This is a chance to speak up on licensing, equity, and future of Jersey weed. Translation: fill out the survey, Jersey, because policy doesn't shape itself even when you're high. According to Marijuana Moment, a cannabis business owner running for Congress, says federal legalization is the only way to stabilize national marijuana market. He argues batchwork state laws hurt small operators, limit banking, and scare investors. Translation: you can't run a legit nationwide industry when the feds still pretend weed is the problem. Smoke the truth. That's going to be my next t-shirt. Smoke the truth. According to Cannabis Business Times, 5 former U.S. attorneys say there is no secret Biden cannabis policy memo guiding federal enforcement despite years of industry speculation. Let me read it to you again. Okay? According to Cannabis Business Times and a Marijuana Moment wrote about this, and some other 5 former U.S. attorneys say there are no secret Biden cannabis policy memo guiding federal enforcement despite years of industry speculation. Turns out the so-called roadmap never existed. So yeah, growers and operators were basically reading tea leaves, and not the good kind. Federal clarity, still very much to be TBD. Basically, the former president Biden was saying that he was doing all this and never did any of it. Plain and simple. It was a front. Like I said to you,
It's crazy.
cannabis family out there and community and all the ones that we've been getting beat up for hundreds of years and lied to and only been used for our tax dollars now. That's it. It's plain and simple. And we keep on falling for it. Yeah. According to Normal, the NIH's research database now includes over 53,000 cannabis-related studies. Yes, 53,000. 4,000 just this year alone. That kind of blows up the whole "there's no research" excuse. From medical use to public health, the science is stacking up fast, so maybe it's time policy caught up. I'm just saying, data don't lie unless you put the wrong numbers in. According to Audacy News, Wayne State University is launching a new study on using cannabis to help treat PTSD and depression. Researchers will look at how different cannabis products affect mental health symptoms. Translation: science is finally asking the questions people have been answering for years, just now with the lab coats, clipboards, and the nerdy pen holders. Mrs. Weedman,
Yeah.
over to you.
I've got some more political, state, and business news. According to Marijuana Moment, a cannabis advocacy group just launched a holiday letter writing campaign to support people still incarcerated for marijuana. While legal weed racks up billions, folks remain locked up over plants. So this season, they're pushing compassion with pens, paper, and reminders that legalization without justice is only half a story. According to Marijuana Moment, a Democratic congresswoman says the GOP backed push for federal hemp ban is a major step backward. She argues it would crush farmers, kill jobs, and undo years of progress. Translation: Washington is still trying to put the hemp genie back in the bottle, and it's not going quietly. According to the Outlaw Report, Washington, D.C.'s medical cannabis program just set a new patient record in October, signaling the market is officially back from the dead. After years of confusion and policy whiplash, patients are returning in droves. Looks like DC's weed plot twist says, I'm not done yet. Legal scholars are urging the Supreme Court to revisit Gonzalez versus Reich, the case that led to the federal's ban of marijuana, even when states say it is legal. If overturned, it could seriously weaken federal prohibition. Police in 8 states made over 100,000 marijuana arrests in 2024, mostly for simple possession, even as legalization keeps spreading. Let that sink in. While dispensaries are booming and tax dollars are flowing, people are still getting cuffed over weed. Same plant, totally different outcomes depending on your zip code. Is this progress? Nah, there's still flashing lights. Nebraska's Supreme Court just heard arguments that could cancel the state's voter approved medical marijuana legalization after people already said yes. Opponents claim the ballot language was flawed, while supporters say it was crystal clear. So now patients wait while lawyers argue. Democracy's cool until weed gets involved. Federal researchers say it's still unclear how a hemp derived THC product would even be enforced. Why? Because the FDA and the DEA are already stretched thin, so Congress can pass rules, but enforcing them is another story. Hemp's stuck in regulatory limbo, and nobody's holding the map. Rockford, Illinois. City Council just voted to divert cannabis sales tax money away from community programs and straight into covering the city's budget deficit. That means weed money meant to help neighborhoods is now plugging fiscal holes. Legal cannabis keeps promising reinvestment, but when budgets get tight, that green suddenly gets rerouted real quick. Funny how that works, isn't it? Illinois health officials are proposing new rule changes for medical cannabis patients, aiming to update program requirements and tighten oversight. The state says it's about modernization and safety. But patients are watching closely, wondering if this means smoother access or more red tape. Because with cannabis policy, amendments can mean progress or paperwork. Growers are warning that a proposed cannabis seed ban could choke genetics, hurt small cultivators, and slow innovation. Limiting seed access means fewer strains, weaker resilience, and higher costs, especially for legal markets trying to play by the rules. Critics say banning seeds won't stop cannabis, it'll just push sourcing underground. Growers want seed science, diversity, and access preserved. Mr. Weedman, it's back over to you.
Thanks, Mrs. Weedman.
Yes, I got a scratchy throat.
Scratchy throat? A lawsuit claims a major cannabis company secretly tracked Florida medical marijuana patients' online browsing habits without consent. The suit says data was shared with third parties, raising serious piracy concerns. So yeah, patients shopping for relief didn't expect surveillance with their strain selection. Legal weed's cool, but nobody signed up for cookies with their cannabis. Florida lawmakers just filed a bill that would let medical marijuana patients grow their own plants at home. Supporters say it's about access, affordability, and patient rights, especially with high dispensary prices. Critics, of course, are clutching pearls because nothing scares politicians more than patients growing medicine in a closet instead of buying it. The Michigan court just reached a decision on that lawsuit trying to block the state's 24% marijuana tax. They're keeping the hefty rate in place. Critics say the tax drives up prices and fuels the illicit market, while the state says it funds public programs. So yeah, legal weed wins the case, but your receipt still hurts. And I just heard that, I just read an article too saying that what happens if the well runs dry? What are they going to do then? Like if people like say, fuck you, I'm not spending that money. And you lose all that money coming from other states. They might as well just stay in their own state and save gas money.
Yeah.
Because now you're at like 34, almost 40% tax. That's going to be added. I mean, between 24% getting tacked on to the cultivators and processors and all that. They're going to put that towards their product that's going to get to the dispensary, and the dispensary is going to give it to the consumer.
Right.
So the consumer is the one that's going to pay for it. We shall see.
Always.
Yep. A new report sounding alarm about foreign organized crime exploiting U.S. cannabis markets, especially through illicit grows and money laundering. Law enforcement says weak federal rules and patchwork state laws make it easier to hide bad actors among legit operators. Translation: legalization without strong oversight leaves cracks, and criminals love cracks more than terps. Ohio lawmakers just passed a bill to roll back part of the voter-approved marijuana law while slapping new restrictions on hemp products, and now it's headed to the governor. Voters said yes. Legislators said, ho, 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 not so fast here. So here we go again. Legal weed approved at the ballot box, then trimmed back in the state house. Democracy? With the little wicka wicka remix. Minnesota legalized marijuana, but here's the twist. Thousands of people are still getting prosecuted for cannabis in their cars. The problem? Old vehicle laws didn't magically disappear when legalization passed. So weed's legal, just not where the people actually have it. Translation? Freedom came with footnotes, and glove boxes are still risky business. Texas just approved more medical THC licenses and dispensaries, finally expanding a program critics say been way too restrictive. Patients could see better access, more locations, and fewer road trips just to get their medicine. Still limited THC, still tight rules, but hey, for Texas cannabis policy, this counts as movement. Slow crawl beats standing still, right? A new Senate bill would federally regulate hemp-derived products instead of banning them outright. This plan shifts oversight to national standards for testing, labeling, and safety, trying to calm the Wild West hemp market. Translation: less prohibition panic, more rulebook energy. Hemp might finally get guardrails instead of shutdown notice. Chicago just hit the pause on banning hemp-derived THC products. A last-minute parliamentary move delayed the city council vote, pushing it to later this month. The proposal would restrict Delta 8, Delta 9 sales to licensed dispensaries only. Supporters cite kids and safety, business owners cry shutdowns, and the mayor prefers regulation over prohibition. It's just the same debate, but a new delay. And that was Political State and Business News, everybody. Ms. Weedman,
Mr. Weedman.
what makes a strong partnership? What strong dispensary partnerships building lasting cannabis brands together, coming along is what I like to call a strong partnership, right?
Yep.
Between brands and dispensaries. We all need each other. We all need each other, right? We need to work together and make sure this industry stays strong. The suppliers need dispensaries and dispensaries need suppliers. It goes hand in hand. We also need transporters. We need people getting product from A to B, right? We need to make sure we have good regulations and good standardization too. We all need to work together to all make money. There's enough money in this industry for all of us to make. So tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
All right. Let's talk strategy, specifically how cannabis brands can actually succeed in an industry where traditional marketing tools like Instagram ads, direct to consumer sales, and broad discounts are either restricted or outright prohibited. If you're not building close partnerships with dispensaries, you're missing the most important driver of growth in cannabis retail. Let's set the scene. Unlike soda or snack companies that can run national campaigns and splash ads everywhere, cannabis brands face a web of state by state rules that limit how they can reach customers. So marketers quickly discovered something essential. Dispensaries are the real gateway to consumers. They're the only legal point of sale, and they're where shoppers first learn about new products, get questions answered, and actually make purchases. The article's author, a founder of a multi state cannabis brand, reflects on early missteps, like sponsoring a music festival that looked great on paper but produced zero sales because there was no clear way for people to immediately find or buy her product afterward. That taught a core lesson that brand activations have to connect directly to retail. So, how does a cannabis brand build those meaningful partnerships? Well, by choosing dispensary partners who are already engaging with their communities. Don't just sell through a retailer. Work with the retailer who host events or welcome collaborative activations. One example was a yoga in the park event tied to a dispensary near Central Park, where consumers could both experience the brand and then purchase products right there. Next, go beyond tabling at stores. Today's customers want experiences and stories, not just someone standing behind a table with a brochure. Brands are finding success with co branded events, educational demos, and gatherings that build both emotional connection and sales momentum. Hey, how about designing your products with retail in mind? Packaging, merchandising displays, and on shelf messaging should be crafted not just for aesthetics, but for conversion. That moment when a curious shopper decides to pick up, try, and buy your product. Invest in field marketing teams and brand ambassadors. These boots on the ground storytellers don't just hand out swag, they build relationships with dispensary staff and customers, reinforcing the brand narrative in a meaningful way. Brands should treat regulations as creative guardrails rather than barriers. Sure, you can't give away samples in a city park or blast billboard ads across a highway, but these limits force brands to think differently, to develop real, intentional interactions with consumers and retail partners alike. The key takeaway here is that the dispensary isn't just the point of sale. It's a partner in discovery, education, and long term loyalty. The brands that thrive are the ones that embrace that partnership, focus less on traditional ad blitzes, and gear toward experiences, collaborations, and retail centric storytelling. Yeah,
It's the way it goes,
it
right?
is.
It's the best way to do it,
Yeah.
you know? And not an easy market out there for anybody at this time.
Hmm.
It's not, cannabis isn't easy. Uh, you know, more and more people are building brands and trying to build brands and trying to get into dispensaries. Vaults here in Illinois are tight. I always say every brand should learn how to respect the vault. Just don't throw shit in there and see if it sticks. The dispensaries are allowing you to be in their vault. Earn your place, respect it, and you will see major phenomenal outcomes in your brand if you respect the dispensary's vaults. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, and you see me on the streets, you want to know more, I'll be happy to teach you about it. But respecting the vaults is a big thing. Also, you know, earning your place in those vaults too, and making sure that your brand, whatever brand it is doing well. You're not just filling it up and not supporting it, like Mrs. Weedman talked about. So earning your place and respecting the vaults, two very important things. And if you prove to the procurement buyers and the owners and the GMs and the AICs and the AGMs, and especially you bud tenders out there, because you're the most important people in the industry, you make or break a brand. I've been saying that for how many years now, Mrs. Weedman?
Hmm.
And it's a partnership that we need help to build our brand, and the dispensaries are our partners, and we are their partners, and they're our partners, and we all need to work together to help build our brands. By doing so, as we build the brand at your dispensary, we're also helping you build your dispensary, because our brands have now built ourselves up, and people look for brands that they like to buy and stick with, especially if they like something, they're going to stick with that brand because they can rely on it. They trust the testing on it. They trust the labels on it. They trust the effects, and they trust that there's good quality. So by you stocking brands on your shelves that your guests that come into your dispensary know, love, respect, you know, they're going to come to your store. And so as we as suppliers out there have to make sure that our brands stick out. Mrs. Weeman owns a brand, 8 decades. She has to make sure she has good marketing tools, good relationships with the dispensaries. She has to make sure her displays are on point. She has to make sure that the billing is accurate, and that the billing that's coming back to her is accurate, with remittances and checks and stuff like that. It's a lot of work, and we all have to respect one another. Yeah, sometimes you get frustrated. You're trying to build your brand, and it gets harder and harder out there as more brands come into play. I mean, in Illinois here, there's 163 edible brands. It's a lot. Now
Mhm.
think an average of all 163 edible brands, they carry at least anywhere between 10 and 22 different SKUs. Times that by 163, just do the average, just say 15. Times that by 163, it's over what, 1,200, 1,300 SKUs and just edibles alone. That's not including flour. That's not including vapes. Let's include vapes. Holy Jesus. It's a lot of vapes out there. And, it's a lot to be in those vaults. Average vaults are 500 SKUs to 1,000 SKUs per vault with all the different types of brands and different types of concentrates and vapes and flour and tinctures and edibles and, ooh, plus clothing and accessories. Whew, my goodness, that's a lot of SKUs. So it's not an easy business. So sorry, I went on a little tangent. Sorry, everybody. Just a little schooling. International news. Global cannabis progress didn't happen by accident, and it won't keep moving without pressure. Activists worldwide are still fighting for legalization, equity, medical access, and prisoner release. Even in legal markets, backsliding is real. So yeah, lighting up is cool, but showing up matters more because rights not defend tend to get rolled right back. Kenyan lawmakers calling for controlled legalization of marijuana, arguing it could boost the economy, create jobs, and fund healthcare. If properly regulated, the idea isn't free for all weed, but licensing, growing, medical use, and exports. Basically, less stigma, more structure. Kenya is asking the same question the world is asking: why leave money and medicine on the table? UK medical experts just released the first comprehensive dosing guide for medical cannabis oils, aiming to help doctors prescribe more safely and consistently. The guide covers THC CBD ratio, titration, and patient factors, basically removing the guesswork. Translation: fewer start low and shrug, more science backed dosing. Big step for patients, clinicians, and credibility across the medical cannabis space. Legal cannabis stores in Ontario are shutting down, and critics say it's because illegal shops are being allowed to thrive. High taxes, strict rules, and uneven enforcement are squeezing legit operators while the underground keeps selling freely. Didn't I say a long time ago? The underground will always win.
Will always win.
And no one
It's
listens to
never gonna
Mr.
leave.
Weedman. Transition. Play by the rules, lose money. Break them, stay open. That's not a market. It's a fucking mess. Finnish lawmakers are openly backing legal cannabis sales, saying regulation would improve safety, reduce crime, and bring in tax revenue. The conversation is shifting from should we or how do we? That's a big deal in Finland, where drug policy has been strict for decades. Looks like even the land of saunas and snow is warming up to weed. Just go to Malta or go to Germany or go start small, start with medical and work your way up. Go to Sweden, and see what they're doing. Look at some other countries and look at more of the successful countries first, though. The cannabis debate is still rolling through Victoria's upper house. With lawmakers split over reform, regulation, and what legalization would actually look like, supporters say it's about harm reduction in reality. Opponents are waving the usual warning flags. No final decision yet, just more speeches, amendments, and political smoke. Australia's weed conversation still very much in session. What's up, Tez? What's up, Reefer Terps? Much love. BC's legal cannabis sales fell in December, adding to concerns about market fatigue and competition from the illicit side. Higher prices, limited product variety, and inflation all taking a bite. Translation: when legal weed costs more, people look elsewhere. That market's still there, just feeling the squeeze. Turns out even pot isn't recession proof. Auckland's CBD is trying to bounce back, battling empty storefronts, slow foot traffic, and big recovery questions. City leaders are banging on the new rail link, housing, and fresh businesses to revive downtown vibes. It's a rebuild moment, less ghost town, more glow up. Urban recovery takes time, and apparently a lot more patience than a wake and bake. And that's international news, everybody. Pioneering funk master George Clinton
Yes.
embraces the cannabis industry at what age, Mrs. Weedman?
83.
You're never too old to start something new, a new
That's
venture,
right.
right? Look at
That's
Willie
right.
Nelson, 90-something years old. I saw, while Mrs. Weedman's laying a joint, I saw Dick Van Dyke about to hit 100 years old, being pushed in a wheelchair with his legs up, having a big old smile on his face and a good old time. Ready to look like he was going to get up and start doing the Fred Astaire dance again. What is that? What movie there was? Mary Poppins.
Oh
Wasn't
my
he
gosh.
Mary
Yeah,
Poppins?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he is still living at 100. So if he can live to 100, the funk master, George Clinton, boy, oh boy, at 83, can kill it with some weed. Tell us about it, Mr. Weedman.
Yeah, hang on. That
That hit got you?
mm-hmm.
This is, I will have to say, this is a heavy indica. This is a heavy indica strain. It's made me like very mellow. Like
Very mellow.
This is gonna be like, I'm ready for bed.
You might have to put us on like speed 1.5 when you listen, because we might be doing turtle talk over here.
Oh yeah.
Turtle. All right. Let's hear about Clinton here. The legendary architect of Parliament Funkadelic and one of the most influential figures in psychedelic funk is stepping into the legal cannabis industry after decades of openly supporting marijuana and speaking about its cultural significance. For a man whose music has always been about expanding consciousness and challenging convention, this move feels like a pivot and like natural progression. While the specifics of his cannabis venture are still coming together, Clinton's involvement alone is a major endorsement of the industry. He spent much of his career questioning authority and calling out hypocrisy, and that carries over here. At one point, Clinton summed up the economics of prohibition with a blunt observation. America made more money pretending to stop weed than they have by selling it. It's a critique that reflects long-standing frustrations with prohibition, not just as a cultural failure, but as an economic one. For more than 6 decades, Clinton's influence has stretched far beyond music. Parliament and Funkadelic didn't just create hits. They reshaped funk, infused it with rock, soul, and psychedelia.
Bring on the funk.
And wrapped it all in a philosophy rooted in liberation, curiosity, and questioning the status quo. Cannabis has always fit into that worldview, not as a gimmick, but as a creative and cultural tool. The timing of Clinton's move is telling. As legalization spreads across more states and countries, cannabis is shifting from counterculture to mainstream commerce. Having the godfather of funk enter the space doesn't just bring star power, it reinforces the idea that cannabis culture is deeply intertwined with art, music, and social change. At 83, George Clinton is still doing what he's always done, adapting, evolving, and staying relevant without losing his edge. His leap into cannabis isn't just about business, it's about another chapter in a career defined by challenging norms and pushing society forward, one funky idea at a time.
Code.
Yeah.
Master of funk. I love it. George
We
Clinton.
want the funk.
Yep. We want the funk. Mrs. Weedman,
Mr. Weedman.
that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Got anything else to say before we go?
I'm tired. But Mr. Weedman, thanks for also putting up with me. And we know what we each need to do, and we know that what we're each capable of doing, and somehow we always just get shit done.
True.
When the flame's burning, we are just running and gunning, and we just get shit done. And we've just always been that way. So I don't know.
Cheers to our new home.
Cheers to our new home.
Our new
Let's just
studio.
keep cranking shit out. And listeners, we'll bring you more and more and more shows.
Yeah, we're excited for you all to see the new studio once
Yeah,
it's
we
done.
can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Mrs. Weedman does with this new studio. I know she's got some
It's gonna be
ideas. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to filming again. And I will tell you this, our dog Yuki, I think this is the best sleep she's had
In a week.
In a week. Longer than a week. Because when we started packing too,
she was unsettled.
And
she's out.
she usually sleeps the whole time we record during an episode. Mostly the whole time. And this dog that has not moved.
She doesn't even look like she's breathing.
An hour and 19 minutes, a little more than 19 minutes by the time
she has not moved.
She has not fucking moved.
Yeah.
Like usually she'll get up and move to a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there for an hour and fucking 19 minutes. I've checked on her a lot. Out cold. Has not moved. She looks like she's in peace because she knows she loves Tuesday nights just as much as we do.
Yeah. She hangs out with us.
Oh yeah,
while
the
we
whole time
record.
she lays on the floor. Probably the calmest
I think
I
this
ever see
is
her.
like comforting to her
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's something
Finally,
she's
a
used to.
yeah, a little
This has been
reminder.
really hard for her.
If you have a German Shepherd out there in the world,
Or just a dog who's
just a dog,
like
but
a habit dog.
a German Shepherd is very, very especially this one is very, very regimented of what she does every day. I mean, it's from the time she gets up till the time we lay in bed. She has this. It's just her discipline. Like she takes
Mhm.
after me,
Mhm.
and it's been disrupted. I mean, to the point where she has a new home, new property, new yard,
She doesn't
people
understand.
coming in and out constantly since I mean
Since we
Monday.
got here,
You know,
yeah.
since Monday when the movers we had to keep her in the backyard the whole time. We'll
Mhm.
keep her in a room. So her disruption, I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
You know, we knew this was gonna be a little tough for her, but she's a trooper too, just like Mrs. Weedman is. So I mean, it's just we have to be proud of the doggo too because
Yeah.
she's gone through a lot. And but in like
She
3-4
still
months,
wants to go home.
yeah, in
Yeah.
3 or 4 months from now though,
Mhm.
when her fence is built and everything is
Yeah.
just
She'll be like,
yeah,
"Woohoo."
this is gonna she'll be a different dog again. She'll be back to the dog we love.
What old house? What?
Yeah.
What?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
What's an old house?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So she'll eventually love it here, just like us.
Mm.
It's just you know, it's only been it's not even a week yet. So, everybody out there in the world, thank you. We pulled it off. We got a show out there for you. And we want to thank everybody for listening. And we love you out there. As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.